Naga community, keeping the code, keeping Shabbat together, outside of the cliques and the you know camps sprouting up here and there. It's like, as far as just your regular Naga that's getting this drop right now, that's listening to backup class Managa, you're a part of something unprecedented, man. That a group of Nagas started popping off, spiraling out that heart bone, that ruach, waking up out that ruach tardy ma, popping off, man, creating a music genre, tribe of music, man, about five eyes, man. Nagas keeping the code as the trending topic. This just in, random Nagas are keeping the code everywhere across the earth plane. Yeah, that's the trending topic right now, Naga. That's you. Everyone's having this code conversation in their household. It's like, it's making sense. Don't kill each other. Don't steal from each other. I like that type of community. We ain't got to know each other. Maybe, I know it's hard to trust each other right now. We got a lot of scammers. We got a lot of, people that scamming on the frequency, right? A lot of people fronting out there. They ain't really keeping code. They ain't really driving up, man. Again, driving up don't mean you got a group of people. Look, we got land too. We driving up, man. But y'all ain't keeping the code. And you ain't tribed up yet within yourself, within your own heart. You know what I'm saying? To check your, and what do you want from us? The only thing you should just be so grateful and humble to know Nagas that's keeping the code. Keeping they Shabbat, they resting, man. Spiraling up, man. Sundown to sundown. Knock off, my noggin. You see it. You see the sun come and go. You ain't moving. The sun's making a circuit. It's giving you that Baruch. After all that energy is exhausted, that's the end of your day. And a new day begins, my noggin. A new cycle. You keeping the code, the covenant. They've been trying to get you out your town for a long time. And these towels, these crosses, are popping up right here in Tucson, Arizona, New Mexico, all the land of the Naga, Hawaku. Who is Prester John? Allah for the code keepers, the water for your support in all your ways, man, getting that mem sauce flowing for our bro Yosef, man, and, allowing us to put a bag in the hand of our Aquamas D, you know what I'm saying, and just keep it flowing for the next house, for the next Nagas, you know what I mean, that, have genuine, situations going on, man, and you're supporting that, man, with your, donations and just your love, your contributions, man. The water for what you're doing for our family, man. We truly appreciate you. Dragons on the wall. We could break on page 105. This is under Fowler's Qualms and Hawley's Antidote. Let's go. Miss Ostrander read her paper suggesting a connection between the arrival of the Roman Jews in Arizona and the arrival of the Toltecs in Mexico. This same February, as Sarle's paper at Phoenix, their conclusion would have been better headed had Fowler not, meanwhile, grown doubtful of the Latin inscriptions he had been the first to translate. A New York Times article, listen up, because they acting like they ain't never heard of this stuff today, but we got the evidence in these great publications like this one by Cyclone Covey that everybody knew about these Roman, right? Roman Jewish artifacts. We got that the Romans are the Rimon, or the Rimani, or the pomegranate granada, Nagas popping off like a grenade, like that fire right here in America. So you are the Rimon, the Roman is the pomegranate. They stole the title Roman or Roman. So they're calling it Roman Jews. We're talking Remai Hebrews. Remani Hebrews. That's all we're saying. Remani, pomegranate, promised land, Kalelus Hebrews is a Remani. Kalelus Naga is a Remani. That's it. That's all. After that, it's stolen titles and it's hijacked city. We come back to the root around here. They don't take our, they took the title, so, they can't take it no more. You know what I'm saying? Once we prove that they stolen our titles, you can't have it back, man. Get my ball back. Get my grandfather's ball. We the Remani. We the Remani. We the Remani. We Kalelus. Who else talking about Kalelus? Because it's not for them to talk about. No, quote, Native American is bringing up Kalelus or the Chickamauga. Until we start talking about it, then they say, oh, that's our heritage. Really? How about the Olmec? Is that you too? No, these Nagas got a different frequency. You don't touch those mounds. You don't go too deep looking for Montezuma's treasure, because that's a different breed of Naga you're talking about, with a different frequency that can tap into that. Can't front on the frequency. Let go. So check it. A New York Times article of December 16th. It dated 1925. Okay. December 16, 1925. Had noticed his finding quotations. In them from Horace, Cicero, and Virgil, model type phrases and groups of words thrown together in alphabetical order, yet with little or no connection. An Associated Press release from New York on the 14th had quoted the eminent Columbia University political historian James T. Shotwell, who pontificated that AD dating did not come into general use until about 1000 AD. Whoa, that's all right. Slow down. Slow down. So, this Columbia University eminent political historian James T. Shotwell is saying that y'all didn't even start dating anything AD until about 1000 AD. My God, we gotta slow this down, man. We've been talking about Anatoly Flamenco. And why we keep talking about flamenco is that the more we dig, the more it lines up with what Anatoly Flamenco is breaking down. The Russian chronographer who's breaking down true history and timelines based on mathematics. And he's saying all this stuff was duplicated and spread out. And when you put it back on top of each other, the history is not that deep. It doesn't go back that far. So they had to create, and they created antiquity. They gave us these dates. They gave us a lot of fake ass artifacts, Managa. They created history, right? Right? We've been saying, you know this, right? You would say it without even knowing anything. You would say, I know these hijacks probably created history, like they just made stuff up. Here's your proof. Chronology. The proof, Managa, is that they didn't even start dating anything AD, which you think means after Christ or something, right? Or after death, what? After Christ's death? But that wasn't until 1000. Now you know they added at least 1,000 years by now. You know they added 1,000 years to all native people on all native lands by now. You know they added this time so that they can now have 1,000-year gap to play with, right? So they can take history from the 1700s and push it back to the 700s. So even when we're reading this 775 Nehemiah Theodorus and Sylvanus Texas, Solomon the Builder, Sylvanus Bravo, Ogam, Swanite, connection. Even when we're connecting that in 775, like the Templars say all the time, man, you gotta put a one back on that. That could easily be popping off in 1700s. And how would you know? Show me your drop of the true history of the 1700s, and I'm gonna show you the Chickamauga, man. And what does the Chickamauga or Chickamauga have to do with the she and the Olmec? And what does the Olmec have to do with Sylvanus, Ogam, and Bravo, and the Swan Knights, and the Barbers, and the Templar, man? How's it got to do with the secrets? How's it got to do with Atlantis sinking and, this great flood of 899 or something like that? That's really popping off probably recently, more recently than that. You could research the California flood in the 1800s. We just born, right? We just born into this matrix, right? And we're already in the program of their version of antiquity, where X marks their spot, not our spot, their spot, right? If I say come kick it at my spot, you'd be like, oh shit, I'm about to chill at Drop's crib, man. We about to just have some great food, about to pop off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be great conversation. Oh man, hey, we going to Drop's spot, right? X marks the spot. Now, if the hijack say come to my spot, shit, you might be in that courthouse, or you might be in the jail. That's their spot, man, right? So those are two different spots. When we talk about Europe, man, you're talking about a festive environment. You know what I mean? Just research what Europe was like, in the 1500s, 1600s, and 14. Like, you're talking about just bodies in the street, plague, disease. We didn't know none of that. We were in extraordinary great health. That's what we got in the American Holocaust, right? So, shit, you're tuning in, man. I'm back on these shows. We're getting them out. Everything's, just caught up like we needed to be. And we're about to be on the website real good and start getting things beautiful and just lots of new looks on the website for you. And, you've been patient, my nigga, and, we got it. Again, we ain't got to rush it. When we got it, my nigga. We got X marking the spot. There's two different spots, right? All right, so when the hijack's talking about, this point in history, they're trying to put you in a different spot. When the hijack's telling you to observe their holidays and their craft, they're trying to put you in a different spot. Now, what has their spot led to for you? Captivity. You've been vanquished, subdued, captured, all that stuff. You know where that spot leads. Dead or in jail. Dead or in jail. Dead or in jail. Where's your spot, man? See, your spot, man, is these mythical. Whenever the hijack talk about you, it becomes mythical real quick, right? Now we're just in mythology. Your spot's paradise, crystal trees, avatar flow. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different locations on the all is happening wave. Hey, it's all happening. When you keep the code, it's all happening for good. When you don't observe, it ain't like, well, the creator's just being mean. Nah, the creator's telling you that you gotta surf the wave. That he gave you a wave. I'ma gave you a wave. I'ma gave you a wave. Just like you give a wave to your children. You say, hey, you do this, we straight. Clean up after yourselves. Don't use that language. Da 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 da. We good. Show respect. I'm gonna give you ultimate AI. You disrespect. Now you chose an interference pattern. And I know how to interfere, but you know what I'm saying? So, and the hijack know how to interfere too. All these demons and devils we call them, they are there for the interference pattern. This Satan, the devil, and all these other names is only there for the interference pattern. But at the end of the day, he serves the wave. He plays his part. In code, those energies can't fade you. They got no dominion. You talk about, you know what I'm saying? What's the dominion of this corporation and all this judicial, longitude, latitude of dominion? It's all about dominion, man. You don't get to hijack no dominion. Sylvanus Pope, Texas is telling you, man, in that Nakamate, you know what I'm saying? You gotta keep the robbers out your gates, man. You can't let your thoughts, it all begins with a thought. You can't give that thought dominion to lead to an action, that you wish you could take back. Like it started with your thoughts, man. If you let them thoughts simmer around, it's gonna turn into action. So as soon as you got a thought that's covetousness, or you got a thought that's bearing false witness, or you got a thought, that's thinking about murder, or stealing, all that stuff, or putting a power before your power, you meditating on these hijacks too much. Like so, when it comes to our spot, you got these cats like John T. Shotwell from Columbia University, who's letting you know that they didn't start using. So what were they calling it 100 years before that? There ain't no AD, my nigga. There ain't no BC, my nigga. Shit, really, there ain't no time. It's only the way. And you got checkpoints. Again, like a dancer that's spinning without getting dizzy. She gotta, get that point, a focal point, right? So once that dancer can have a focal point every time she's doing him spin, Michael Jackson does the spin, he needs to have a focal point or else he's out of control. You gotta have a focal point, which is the code, which is your Shabbat. Every week you got a focal point. That's all we're talking about. So you can hit a different mark. So it's all happening. There ain't no time, but the focal point, you know what I'm saying? Your checkpoint is your checkpoint. And Anatoly Flamenco said, man, they pushed your checkpoints back 333 years first shift. All right, so they'll take something from the 1800s and push it back to like the 1500s. You know what I mean? And then the second shift is 54 years? So they'll take something from the 1800s and push it back 1,000 years. So it got dropped off 333 years in the past, and then it got dropped off 1,000 years in the past, and then you go back to that same event from the 1800s, and they're gonna push it back now. 1,778 years was the third major chronological time shift. So they took that event from the 1800s, and now that shit's popping off in like 45 AD. Right, so you got this history about the, so-called Christ, right, and these saints that's popping off right around 30 AD, 40 AD, 50 AD. Managa, that's another major chronological time shift, man, according to the mathematics, the astronomy, everything that's leading up to showing where the phantoms and the duplications in the timeline are happening at, man. I advise everybody to dig on that parallel timelines in history, dig on that, Anatoly Flamenco recon. He got volumes after volumes after volumes of recon, man. Just get lost in the belly flop and just, see if you can put your story together. Because at the end of the day, they can only do so much. And notice it's happening in Russia, right? So a lot of this Russian drop, man, is the keys. You know what I'm saying? Again, think about the Byzantine Empire, right around these areas. Russia, Turkey, all that stuff, being a big focal point for our people over there, you know what I'm saying? So, I believe it's all about the vortexes, these dragon lines, these ley lines, and guarding certain areas of them, you know what I'm saying? Like the Amazon High Queens. All right, so let's go. 1000 AD. So the Toussaint citizen, or the headline, quote, relic texts are cribbed from dictionary glossary. E.S. Blair. A Tucson